Okay, we are live. Good evening, everyone, and good morning, good afternoon. It all depends from where you are logging in and joining us this evening. You are welcome to the Women in Tech South Africa Fireside Chat. And I'm very excited this evening to be joined by three amazing women within the tech space. So, without any waste of any time, I will just go into brief introductions. I do believe that we have shared each of our speakers' bio on our event. Ladies, I welcome you and thank you very much for coming through. Thank you for joining me on this Thursday evening. Okay, I'm going to start with Lesego. Good evening, Lesego. Lesego is a senior business analyst who is also a project manager. Lesego is also known as Coach Les. Lesego, you are welcome to the Women in Tech Fireside Chat.
Thank you so much, Lungi. Looking forward to the conversation.
All right, thank you, Lesego. And I am moving on to Auxalia. Auxalia, good evening. You are welcome. Auxalia is an entrepreneur within the tech space, and she will also greet us this evening.
Thank you so much, Lumile, for the invitation. Good evening, everyone. Looking forward to the engagement session. Thank you.
Auxalia, we can't hear you.
Really? And now?
I think you are muted.
And now, can you hear me?
Okay.
Okay. Apologies about that. Probably there was a thingy, tech issues with my mic. Thank you so much, Lumile, for inviting me through this evening. I can't wait to engage with the ladies from wherever they're dialing in from. I believe there's people from Zambia, Nigeria on the line. So let's have an engagement session. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, Auxalia. And we're moving on to Petunia. Good evening, Petunia, and thank you very much for joining us this evening. Petunia is a director and the founder of Computer Technologies, and she will also just greet us and all the audience this evening.
Good evening, to all the women who are in this beautiful space, Women in Technology. My name is Maduma Petunia Langa. I am the founder and CEO of Consumer Technologies and Projects. It is very, 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 very exciting to be with you. Can't wait to engage. Thank you very much, Lingile. Over to you.
Thank you very much, ladies. You are most welcome, and thank you for being with us this evening. Really, our topic comes right close to the end of Women's Month, and I hope you have celebrated, and I hope you've been celebrated as well. And from Women in Tech South Africa, we would like to wish you a happy Women's Month, and to everyone who is joining us, ladies, happy Women's Month. And we do acknowledge our counterparts, our male colleagues, and partners in the tech space. We appreciate your support as well. So, ladies, really, our topic today crosses amongst the most important ways in which we get into employment and really focusing on the tech space, how we get into employment in different ways as women. We're going to be talking really about how you choose each of the options that we have in the space of technology. And Lesego, I will just start with you asking exactly if you could just tell us a bit about your journey into technology and really how did you go about into choosing or taking the decision of going into this career path?
Hi, thank you so much, Lungi. And again, I must greet everybody who has joined us online. Well, my journey started, basically, it was an accidental journey. And it began when I was just about to register at university, and I had just been rejected for chemical engineering. And I was just with my uncle at that time. I remember very well, very distressed and crying, because I actually wanted to be in university. And my uncle has been in the IT space for quite some time. And he immediately then said to me, you should try become IT or become informatics at that time. And he just told me, I mean, the reasons. So firstly, he just said, you get a job easy. And he also told me that, you know what, because he had exposure, right, to the trends, especially from a job opportunity. So he knew what the job opportunity is like. And he also advised me to say, you won't struggle with the job. Trust you me, after you complete your degree, you won't struggle with your job. And fast forward, I got enrolled into yes, become IT. I then began to love what I actually was enrolled into, and some of the courses that I got to really enjoy and become more curious about them was IT management and software development, the software engineering at that time. And basically, ever since, right, from that moment, it has been something that I really was passionate about. And I saw myself moving into a space, especially the IT space, where I'm
Yeah.
able to make a difference and actually make an impact through the technological solutions that are able to bring in, that will solve problems, right, for individuals, for companies, and to the nation at wide. So that's
Mhm.
just my quick journey in terms of how I got into the IT space, and I intentionally, continuously stay in this journey because of this passion that I have.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you very much for sharing that with us, Lesigo. I mean, the significance of having people around you that can really advise you on which path, which road to take. Look where it led you to today. Wow, that's quite amazing. And I just also wanted to confirm for the topic that we are covering today that you are currently a permanently employed IT specialist, right?
Yes, Lungi, I am permanently employed.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll move on to Petunia. Petunia Langa, on your side, contracting and also looking at the offers that comes from different organizations, projects, and industries. What, from your experience, that has been some of the biggest advantages of contracting?
Thank you very much. I started my journey. I studied computer programming, and I think that is at the back of what I do, technology. So, with regards to contracting, I think it gives you a lot of exposure. For example, I've got 12 years plus working experience, but that experience is not limited, nor is it boxed to a specific industry. So when you're a contractor, you're not restrained, or you're not confined to be in one space. You can go into mining, you can go into education, you can solve problems through a wide range of industries. So for me, that has helped me be able to adapt to various ways of solving problems, to various
Yes.
industries that are out there. So I think that if you want to fare very well in the industry, you need to understand how systems work, and how you need to do that is how you need to move through the different systems, because we're literally applying the same methodology across the different industries. That's what I've found works for me. As you journey, you also do increase your rate. So it gives you, that's the advantages of being a contractor, is that you've got the flexibility. You are in charge of what you charge to the specific client that would be requiring your services
Wow.
at the space and time. Yeah,
Wow.
that's
Wow.
yeah.
That is such a mouthful, Petunia, and I do believe that with contracting comes different exposures into different systems, different organizations, and all of that, and quite a number of benefits there as well, you know. And I really think that I, for one, it has been a space where you find that you are not so confident as to tap into. You think about all the different things that I think we're still going to touch on, and you compare, and really there isn't really a better or all of them, they actually amount to an opportunity given, and also how you grab that opportunity and you run with it. I would like to encourage our audience, if they have any questions that they would like to send through, or if they've got any comments, to please do share with us. We really like to interact with you on the chat side. Okay, and moving on to Auxilia. Auxilia, I do know that you are the founder and the CEO of Imizamo Yethu, which is a technology company, also advisory. So I just wanted to find out, we often hear about the flexibility of being an entrepreneur, and I do believe this comes with a lot of challenges and also opportunities. But if we don't always talk about the risks, that comes with being a woman in tech and an entrepreneur of one as well, what are some of the realities and the challenges that you believe that women should consider before making this bold move of moving from an employee to becoming a techpreneur?
Hi, Lungile. If one had to look on how the risk and the challenges that are facing, first of all, it's the most important one, the access to revenue. There is no stability, and we all know that. Therefore, for one to go into a space of entrepreneurship, you need that buffer, the funding buffer, whichever way, whether you take your savings and then you take that leap of faith that now you're going to take a turn and go into entrepreneurship. The biggest thing, it's quite liberating that there's a new product, a new technology that is getting introduced into the market. You've got that flexibility to also go in and try it out. And the most critical and part that I enjoy the most is signing up my own check. It's not about now invoicing on an hourly basis. I now invoice project based. The risk that I've also found to have been involved there, it's only because, especially as a startup, you turn out to under invoice, whereby you've underbilled. For one moment, for example, you've got interns that you can, take advantage of their stipend and top it up from there. However, the moment now the project is getting more intense, you need experienced developers, then that becomes a challenge. So suddenly, where do you get this extra capital that you can now be able to pay your team members so that they can also deliver on time? Or else you realize that the licenses that you've bought are not correct. It's not the correct. They're not functioning fully for the requirements of the client. Now you need to fund your own licenses. So it's those kind of challenges. But at the end of it all, it's liberating. The numbers that I used to see on spreadsheets, on reports, now I see them in real life. It's an experience, and you get to travel. You get to travel. You have clients, whether they are in or out of the country. It just also expands your network much more, much broader. You're able to also go into a space and apply yourself. And as an entrepreneur, when you walk into the room, your listening now has also become differently. I listen to challenges and try to solve. The question is, if people don't have water, now it comes to me, what can I do to solve this? We're talking of the access to education. What can I do? What app can I go in and develop to empower the communities? So you are very close to the problems, and therefore it allows you to quickly be able to be agile and come up with solutions. It has been
Wow.
empowering, and yeah. What? Yeah, I think that's it for now. Let's keep it there.
I want to say clock it. I was hoping that I'll get an emoji that will definitely give it to say clock it. Wow, that's so brilliant. And also the bravery, it actually takes to embark on such a journey, which is really commendable for us women in the space of technology, to actually look at those options and sometimes say, you know what, the risk is there, but also the opportunity is also there. Wow. Well, I saw that we have a question on the chat. I will just leave those to read them towards the end, where we can attend to all the questions that our audience is sharing with us. Wow. Wow, that's great. And Lesego, coming back to you, would you think that women sometimes they stay in permanent employment because of security, even when they may actually be ready for something different? Would you agree with this statement?
Definitely, Lungi. I think, I mean, in my experience, right, I'm sitting and thinking, ooh, would I consider, what Petunia and Auxilia are into? But it brings that feeling, right, in the gut,
Mm,
in the stomach, that
yeah.
anxiety feeling to say, what if it doesn't work, really? What if there is so much failure, and then after failing you would fail?
Yeah.
We never really then look at what if you fail, and what if after the failing you'll succeed. And this is
Mm,
also coming from what Pechin and Auxilia are saying. But where I am sitting, I'm having that feeling in my gut that tells me, no, it's hard for you, don't take the risk. And I know it could be a feeling that, most women also joining on the call are also feeling, especially when
mm,
you have worked so many years, you have benefited so much from, the
yes.
different organizations you've been. You've looked at financial stability, you've looked at that security, you've also looked at the benefits, right, that these
Mm,
are
mm,
organizations that you are working in are giving you. And when you look at, losing all of that, yeah, you still have that gut feeling. So
yeah.
it's a scary thought, Lungi. It's definitely
Yeah.
scary. Yeah.
No, 100%, 100% agreed, Lesego, because really there's quite a number of factors, right? Because one of the things that we talk about as women in tech is finding the balance. And you are touching on financial stability and also family stability, And when you have to take up those decisions, those are all the factors that we as women we tend to think about. So yeah, very much true. So, and I just want to then throw it back at you, Auxilia. For someone maybe who might consider, right, to say, I want to go independent. I want to take this and start. Where would you say they should start, right? And also, what is it that they should have in place before they take that leap of faith?
Lungile, there is no right or correct answer. In my case, what I've used, it's the background. I actually come from the corporate sector. I've spent more than 15 years within the corporate. So the corporate sector has actually built me. It has made me to be the person that I am. They've contributed quite a lot, which has also enhanced me with my engagement with clients, with suppliers, because now the language completely changed, you know. So while somebody is still permanently employed, they just need to ask a little bit more while they're still in that space. You ask from your basics, the laptops that you are using at work, where do these come from? As women, we just need to ask more. How did this actually laptop get to my desk? I understand that you've gone to the IT department and collected it, but who is the supplier? You need to study the ecosystem of entrepreneurship completely. And this is an opportunity that one can take advantage of while they're still employed permanently, like Lisego. She can still go in and understand the softwares, the licensing, because once you are an entrepreneur, you're out there, all these costs, they come from your own pocket. So that's where you need to start in. However, what I've found challenging is also now I'm not just a data governance officer. It's not all only about that. Now I must wake up, become the financial manager, the marketing person, the sales person. So all of those skills, it's skills that
Mm,
one can be able to acquire while they're still
yeah.
working. Try to engage a little bit more. Try get out of the comfort zone. And once you work on these skills of of engagement, learn your accounting systems, all of those things, because these are the things that they will need to understand. The different organizations that are involved within the tech space, go into these sessions, network, build yourself up, because once you do that, then at least there's a little bit of balance, something that for someone like me, I didn't have an opportunity to do so. I've learned quite a lot as I moved. So, and it was a bit strenuous at some time. I wanted to give up, but when you have got no any other option but to make it work,
Yeah.
then you learn. And there's also programs that different organizations offer to help. So reach out and ask for help. And if you can, do these, because some are self-paced trainings and learnings. So participate in these
Yes.
programs, empower yourself, learn your financial systems, learn your marketing. With me, I know with digital marketing, I'm still struggling quite a lot when it comes to the videos, editing videos and everything else. But now I woke up and I've got so many roles and I need to balance the two. They must also do a lot of time management whereby you plan your week. You're not going to be in the office. Maybe you've got trainings to attend. However, the invoices still need to go out. So how do I do this? How can I implement AI into my business so that it continues running while I'm away? So I've had to learn and
True.
introduce these tools as I go along.
Mm. Wow. Yeah. No, so very true. And quite solid as well, as one takes that decisions. These are things that you really need to have in place before you really make that bold move. And Petunia, as you have been contracting, maybe if you could share with us how important is flexibility when it comes to making a career decision, particularly for women who have other responsibilities outside of work?
Oh, that's a very, very, very deep question. I think one, you need to look at your skill set. It's very important to know if you can do it. A lot of the times, what is being offered is, it could change your life, but really, is it worth your mental well-being? So I think looking at what you can do is very important before choosing to partake in a specific role. While the financial aspect of everything really is what can
Correct.
determine what you need to do, also look at your capability. Do an assessment on self, do an introspection as a woman, considering that you might be married, you might be a mother, do that introspection. And then see how the flexibility of work, what type of work am I getting into? What type of work structure does the
Mhm.
company have that it would accommodate the schedule that I wish to continue having? Then you make a decision on that. So I think that with my career, it's not always influenced by finances. It's about the environment. So I do, when I'm on a table and I'm given an opportunity to ask questions, ask about the environment. I ask about the culture. I ask
Yes.
about the problems that they're facing. And I do an assessment of, am I going to be able to come into this space and provide the solutions that are required? Because it's very important to know what you can bring. And for me, that's been a personal thing, because my personal brand can stand to be, impacted should I find myself in a wrong space
Balance.
solving for the wrong problem. So it's very important. So those are the aspects that I look forward to. Contracting overall has given me a lot of flexibility. It has empowered me to a space where I can start my own company. I am flexible. I've transitioned to an independent contractor. I've provide services to companies right
Okay.
now because of the flexibility that I've mapped out. So I know my capability. I know what I can do.
Mm.
And I know I can add three other jobs if I can, and they all don't have to conflict. I could, I've got a printing company. I've got, I sell t-shirts on the side. I'm an MC. I'm a baker. I do a lot of those things because they all don't interrupt each other. They work concurrently, they work parallel, and they complement the skill set that I have. So it's very important that we look at that as we make these decisions, as a contractor, independent contractor, and now CEO.
Wow, wow. I like the passion, hey. The passion is it's about the balance and
It's
yeah,
about the
thank you
balance.
so much
Akoneha.
for thank you so much for bringing that into the room, Petunia. Thank you very much. And I just want to bring in the aspects of women in tech, right? And in the South African chapter, we've got a number of pillars, and one of the pillars which I sit in is the entrepreneurship pillar. And the next segment of our questions really it is to really cover more around that space in women in tech and bringing closer the subject and the topic of entrepreneurship. And Petrina, whilst you're still there, I'm going to ask then that do you see contracting and consulting as a stepping stone towards entrepreneurship, or are they completely just a different career path?
Um, they are they are intertwined, and I'll give you an example with myself. So I've started I started my journey as a contractor. I've always been told that I'm a brand. I can go into a space and I can be a consultant. I've always been a consultant. That's all I know. I've tried permanent. So with the companies that I've had the privilege to work with, all of them allow for different pay cycles, pay structures. So I 2024, I was working for a company, and through networking, through the ecosystems that I found myself in,
Mm-hmm.
one of the ladies on the chat were telling me about, why don't you're already doing it, you're just not doing it as your company. Then I registered my company. And then once the company was registered, I spoke to the contract house that had employed me to say, I would like to explore the idea of being an independent contractor. I would like to bring my company as a subcontract to your contract that you have. And you go to those chats, those discussions with already registered companies. And then I didn't find that the transition from contractor to consultant to independent very difficult.
Yeah.
One, the very things what you need to know about that is that you need to be vigilant, because there's a lot of things that you have to do on your own. You'd have to have a company, a bookkeepers, accountants that help you manage your taxes. So the flexibility has been enormous. In terms of finances, I'm way better than I was when I was a consultant with my tax withheld by the contracting company. So it's that I don't think that there is a lot of
True.
admin to it, but there's a lot of benefit to it if you do it well. So if you do it, please make sure that you're meeting the regulations of our country, which is your tax and all of that needs to check out. So you're a full company.
Yes.
You can serve and provide other services. So once you start, there's no turning back. So look at me, 2024, Comtuma Technologies got started. I still work as a business analyst and I still provide other services without any contradiction. All things work together.
Wow. Wow. I must say the fire chat is firing. The fireside chat is firing this evening, and
Love
thank you
it.
very
Love to
much
see it.
for sharing your views on that, Petunia. And Lesego, what would you say to a woman, right, who is currently right now in a permanent role today, and who has this business idea or this consulting practice, but they're afraid to take that first step? And this is not an advice to yourself, but what would you say to that woman who is sitting in that permanent space?
Oh my goodness. Firstly, Lungi, I'd say that they should reach out to Auxilia and Petunia to actually have a coffee chat with them and really understand how did
Yeah.
they get where they are, what are the challenges, and to have just an open conversation. I mean, where I am, like I said, I'm very very scared, but I'm hoping that if there's anybody who'd like to get into contracting, like you said, this is not advice for myself, but if everybody wants to get into contracting or move into entrepreneurship, um, call Exelia, reach out, connect with her, connect with Petunia, and have a conversation with them, go out
Yeah.
for coffee, and then really understand more in terms of what's required. Because where I
Mm,
am, I don't even know where one could start, but I think that ladies, have been there, they've experienced it all, and they've got personal journeys, right, that they can share with others.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that, Lesego. And going to Auxilia, Auxilia, what does entrepreneurship mean to you, right, as a woman in technology? Does it necessarily mean that you just start a company, or can it also mean taking ownership, right, of your career and looking at it as creating opportunities not only for yourself but for others as well?
You've nailed it there, Lungle. Entrepreneurship, it allows one to think beyond the institution that you are working for, beyond South Africa, the borders of South Africa, beyond Africa, if that's the way to look into it. And at the pace where we are right now, at the positioning of Africa at this moment, it's only Africa that's going to be able to solve Africa's problem. Yes, the US and Europe can be able to guide. We can only copy certain aspects, but I believe that our challenges are different as a continent, our challenges are different as a country in South Africa. So, entrepreneurship allows individuals to who are seeing these challenges daily and to be able to solve them, because we are at the bottom. We are seeing the challenges daily. We see the queues in medical facilities. If you're not going to hospital, it's something that we have experienced. Your grandmother is experiencing it. You go through it. So to me, entrepreneurship has allowed me to actually start thinking that what, actually, why is it that one must spend the whole day sitting in those long queues? What can I do about it at the position where I am with the skills that I have? What can I do about this? It allows you to challenge yourself. You hear of the energy crisis that we are going through. The question again becomes back at, as I am Auxilia, what can I do to help my community, to empower my community to make a change in the various spaces? Because if I don't understand the policies that are being implemented into a certain space or into a certain sector. If I look into energy, for example, what about somebody in the village there in Kunu, in the villages in Limpopo? How are these people actually surviving if I'm based in Joburg and I'm struggling to understand the jargon, the lingo in there? And hence now we come in and we say, let me solve the problems. I know these are my people. I understand what they are going through. But this is the solution. How do I now come back and use technology, use my skills, use the experience that I've gained everywhere else to solve these problems? We remain innovative, and there is no model that will be able to copy one-on-one directly. It could never work. So entrepreneurship has allowed for one to be able to, you plug yourself onto the system, and sometimes you just need to be a little bit more like water, go onto those thin sands, just to make sure that you grab as much information, you are able to actually solve the pain points of the community out there. Then we can be able to not leave anyone behind. As we are transitioning in this manner, then we take the whole community with us. No one is to be left behind. We've got the technology. Africa needs to strive. It is our time.
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Otseda, for sharing on that. Now I know why Mzamo is the advisory within this space. I'm going to move into a bit of a more personal and a reflective question, right? And it is all it's really for all of you ladies to take a turn and just respond to this. You know, when you look at and I'm just putting you on a spot a little here, and it is Women's Month, so we are going to be vulnerable. We're going to be ourselves, and if you had to choose between and by no means any of this is with all the pros and cons, the advantages and the disadvantages in all the different parts, if you had to choose today between permanent employment, contracting, and being an independent consultant, which one would you choose and why? And before you answer, there is a second question to this round. So please do apply yourself into it and just maybe share with us as to which one would you choose and why would you choose that? Anyone can go first.
Okay, I'm happy to go first. If I were to choose between the three or the two, permanent or contract, um, I would look at the my current landscape, my current skill set. I think we've answered this. Changing direction does not always mean that you failed. You are able at any point switch, go this way, go that way. Look at where you are, look at what you can bring. So I would say that it's not a matter of I'm a contractor, therefore I'm not part of this company. Go into a company, apply yourself to the company policy, apply yourself to the strategy. So it's not a matter of choice. It's a matter
Yeah.
of, what can I bring? If I believe that I'm comfortable, it's risky. We won't shy away from explaining that contracting, not being permanent, is risky, and maybe you have responsibilities. So weigh your options based on what you can afford to take. For example, if you're a contractor, you land a role. It's a 12 months contract. Sometimes it's 6 months. Sometimes companies say 3 months renewable, and some things go wrong. You get into a space, you guys don't gel. What do you do when suddenly someone says, look, we don't have budget, and then you have to go back to the table to apply again. You have to have something you have fallback. You're falling back on. You have to have savings as a consultant. You don't play with money. If there's anything I must say, as a consultant, saving is your biggest friend. Save, save, save. It can end at any time, and so that's the thrill. So I do love the thrill of some learning something new. So there's always
Mm-hmm.
something I'm looking forward to learn as I enter the space of, well, I'm a consultant. Or right now I'm creating a transformation program that is going to help SMEs. It's going to help. So it gives you something to look forward to. And if it ends, it gives you that, gosh, I did it. Let me look forward to something else. The next thing you do, you're in a medical field, you're solving for a COVID resilience index that's going to help with a COVID problem or something like that. I'm just giving examples. You just have to have the thrill of solving something new. And if that's your passion and you have the risk, your risk averse levels are at a tolerant space, go for it. Definitely. That's how I would measure it.
uh, Thank you very much, Petunia.
So Lungi, I'll come in, and I think my answer I would definitely choose permanent for now.
Yeah.
but obviously with having a roadmap, right, that would in the future help me to move into the different spaces like contracting and entrepreneurship. It would not just be an immediate thing, but I also do not see myself, working permanently for the next 20 years. I think with the world, how things are moving, we can also see that there's a lot of flexibility. And now AI is also changing the way that we're working, it's changing our roles, it's changing our function. And hopefully, yes, in the near, not even in the near future, but in the future ahead, right? Having a
Mm-hmm.
role that will then say, um, what does it look like? What are the things that I need to consider? What do I need to build as foundation as I
Yeah.
move into the different spaces? But I mean, Auxilia and Petunia, they've already inspired me. So
Mm,
thanks to the ladies to opening, some of
yeah.
our eyes, the people who've been working permanently for such a long, long time and really have not thought about moving out of the space because we don't know what we don't know. But
Yes.
because of the experience they're sharing um, with us about their challenges as well and also their victories, it also gives us that hope to say, perhaps, people can also start looking into their future and,
Mm-hmm.
work will change and our roles in permanent contracting and entrepreneurship would definitely change, especially for women going forward. Thanks.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. From yes, Auxilia.
For me, Pingile, I've actually done both. I've been permanent when it was time for me to be permanent. I've done the independent contracting when it was time for me to be an
Yeah.
independent contractor. One thing that I like about entrepreneurship is the problem solving. It's liberating. I feel empowered daily, and I don't have a moment to give up. The solution that I've worked on a different that impacts another sector, I can easily be able to plug it into another sector. So one needs to, I always say something that the solutions are near us. The solutions are all
Yeah.
here. And entrepreneurship has allowed me to walk into a room and see that actually sometimes we're thinking solutions are too far. Solutions are here, and entrepreneurship has allowed me to be able to actually look that the long queues are basically in the hospitals. Okay, in the banking they've managed to minus, but we've got so many queues everywhere. The challenges are the same in any sector, in any room that you go into. So entrepreneurship has allowed me to be able to, as you see the challenges that the agricultural sector is facing, for example, it means manufacturers that are manufacturing products in the health sector that might be facing the same challenges. So I am
Yeah.
able to gain that flexibility and,
Mm-hmm.
plug it in sector specific. So it has allowed me to do that. It has liberated me, but I would still emphasize on the cash buffer that, because sometimes, and the difference again with industries, that every industry has got its own regulations that they need to apply to. They need to conform to. Everybody reports to someone. So the moment that you are
Right.
changing um, industries, now you need to take that model that you've built, and now it must conform to this other industries that might be impacting, to the regulatory bodies that might be impacting that specific industry. So one needs to just be mindful of such things. And I'm able to actually have conversations. It doesn't matter who I'm in the room with. It has opened up my mind a little bit more. I'm not longer just walking like, oh, I'm going to the bank, oh, insurance, that narrow minded. I see people in agriculture, they are struggling, the floods. What can AI do actually to warn people about the weather? Like you plug yourself, you plug your skills wherever you go into, just to make sure that we strive as a country, as a
Yeah.
continent. So it's a passion that I live with. It's now in my blood. What can I do to make things better? So that liberation, yes, I can't trade it in at this moment.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Auxilia. Ladies, you've made your choices and you've shared with us why you would actually choose that path. And just very, very briefly, I did say there was a follow up to this. So the question would be, and do you think that you would have given the same answer 5 or 10 years ago? Very briefly.
I can take this one. I don't think the answers would be the same. Yes, entrepreneurship, it's something that I formally got introduced to when I was still in high school. I'm just one of those people that went into the junior achievement program whereby they were trying to introduce young people into being entrepreneurs, solve problem solving, you know. But at that point, it was about making beats. We just used to meet and make beads and sell these beads to mainly your family members because we're still like 15 or 16 at that time. I've never pictured it turning around. Let me not lie. I've never saw myself that one day this would actually be something that I would go out there and engage and you know um, talk to people about, try to sell bigger products now. We're talking of bigger solutions instead of the beads. So I've always been in the space of entrepreneurship, but full time as a mother, I didn't see it at this level, which is where now the leveraging of the skills, because um, we go out there, we study. You study, we study whether it's medicine or it's computer science or anything else. The next thing you
Yeah.
decide to open up a hair salon. The question is now, a lot of us turn out to let go of the formal education that we've gained when we were studying for the formal qualification. But this has also, now I've taken up that entrepreneurial skill of selling, making beads, and everything else. And I've looked at it at a larger scale of becoming an entrepreneur in the tech space. I'm still problem solving, I'm just solving different problems for a bigger audience at this moment.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll also jump in here, Lumile. Um, Nobody tells you how important it is to be a leader, how important it is to have a personal brand. When you go into any space that you can find yourself in, is how you represent yourself. Can you lead? Can people trust you? Can you deliver what you said you will? Are you walking the talk? It's very important to walk in a space and assess whether you'd be able to do that. So for me, uh, I've also transitioned into entrepreneurship. I'm a consultant, and I can be a permanent employee at any time that I wish to. So I don't I don't box myself, and I understand what I bring to the table. I'm a leader. I'm a change and I'm a change enabler. A business analyst, as a business analyst, it's very important to see yourself as someone who brings change. As a woman in technology, it's very important to use technology to your advantage. Technology is used as an enabler. What tools can you use to enable yourself to fare much higher than you already are? That's that's has always been the question that I ask myself. Personal development is very important. It's one
Yeah.
of the instruments that I lean on in every decision that I need to take. Is this going to develop me personally? Is this going to grow me? because change is about growth. It's about adaptability. How feasible am I going to be to to a space that I come in? Not forgetting that I'm a woman and I have to bring my feminine self and I have to, sometimes, smile a bit. But yeah, I can go there if you want us to go there. So I allow technology to lead me in that aspect. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Petunia. So, do you want to add to that?
Yes, Lungi. I think for my side, 5 years back, and perhaps even have had this conversation,
Yeah.
perhaps I would have explored other areas, but I'm just thinking 5 years back, I still had small kids, very, very small. And if I was really, and two of them, so if I was I was gonna have the appetite really, right, to okay, let go of my financial stability and move into the space. But I think the ladies have just also confirmed that, we fail, but you don't fail forever. We fail, we learn, and with whatever that comes our way, we learn and we become better. I mean, they started as from a contracting perspective, and then now they moved into entrepreneurship. So that's also then confirming the fact that yes, that feeling of failing will always be there, but it's more of what do you do then, you know, after you have failed, because you have an opportunity to stand and become better and to learn and
Mhm.
do things differently. And with the experiences that we all hold in the industries that we all play in and the skills and the qualifications, I think they both also confirm that, you can show up differently and not only be boxed in this one place. But yeah, 5 years ago, perhaps I would be considering.
100%. 100%. Wow, ladies, thank you very much for your honesty and really sharing, your views on this. And I do believe that even myself, if I was to be asked that question, right, times have changed and technology has evolved, right? And so as the skill sets and the careers and the demands. So maybe I would have also answered the question differently. I want to go to the chats and see if we can actually grab one or two questions that we have received from our audience. Wow. And thank you so much to everyone online who's been interacting with us. I see on YouTube as well as one of our channels as Women in Tech SA. We do have a YouTube channel, and there are other women and other audience that has joined us on that stream. One of the questions, and I think these some of these may have been answered throughout the conversations. We had Dandugazi asking, how does one get into contracting, and what are the biggest challenges that one can face in that space? And I do believe that Petuna has spoken on this one. Tulu saying they're so informative, and thank you for the session. Thank you for joining us, Tulu Felo. Dumisang is asking, hi, I'd like to know, as a woman in her 30s and might be interested in the tech space, where do I start, and is it not late at this age, and will I still be able to catch up? Ladies, I'm not sure how do you feel, but I do believe that this was answered in terms of where does one start. However, she was just being more specific, saying that she's in her 30s and she is interested in the tech space. Is it not too late for her to start? I'll ask Petunia
Not
to
at all.
maybe just respond to Miss Sang.
You're not late, not at all. I'll give you a personal testimony. I'm in my 30s, late 30s. Okay, approaching my late 30s. I've only just started one of my degrees. So it's not too late. And let me tell you something, all skills work together. Whatever that you're doing now, whatever that you're going to transition from becomes your base and skill set. You are only going to add on. So your skills travel with you. When you change and transition into a space, you don't lose the skill set. You're only adding to it. You're amplifying what you are, what you have. So no, don't be afraid to transition. We are here. personally, I would like to make myself available for chats for those who want to, get into the skill set and the chats. I'm available. So you're not late.
Wow, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your response, Petunia. And I'll just take one more question from the chat. It was a comment from Chilizi. She says that I agree with Auxilia. Africans can and must fix African problems. The West has inspired and but not led. Another comment there that says at Petunia, what guidelines would you advise when an entrepreneur or contractor plans their funds? How much should one keep aside? Do you work it into your pricing? So this is now when you negotiating your rate, of course, Petunia. Maybe just in 30 seconds.
Okay, cool. So first of all, you can work it into your pricing, but my deepest advice is save enough that should you go without work for at least 3 months to 2 months, you are able to sustain yourself, because it can get dry, it can get quiet. Sometimes companies are going through financial year ends, so have enough to sustain you for about 2 months. In the space that we're in, it shouldn't take you long to get something, but it can get really, really, really dry. So please save up to the whole salary. You should have enough salary to go on. Yeah, 30
Wow,
seconds.
thank you. Thank you very much for that response, Petunia. And I just wanted to also mention that I've received a number of questions in the mailbox, which were not so much on this topic, but rather the audience asking on if we could look into these topics related to this one. These will be submitted to Women in Tech and for future fireside chats. Thank you very much, ladies, and thank you to the audience. And please do keep those comments coming. We will actually be able to even attend to those post this session. I just want to come back with just a final question for our panelists here who came in so prepared, so fired up. You can tell it's Women's Month. Ladies, please carry the same energy beyond this month. Yeah. So one of the final questions, really, in one sentence, right? If there's really a balance between being permanent, contracting, and consulting and entrepreneurship, what would you say that it's that in one sentence? If you're looking at a real balance, and Oxela, I'm looking to you to fire us up here within 30 seconds, please.
Lola, there is really no balance. You know, the universe continues to guide, and we need to listen a little bit more. Use your gut feeling, because you would not be in a space that you can't learn anything. So when you are in, whether you are in a permanent position or you are contracting or an entrepreneur, walk in a room and be prepared to learn, engage with other people, use platforms, network, because you just never know who you're sitting next to and what um, doors they can open up for you. So that's one thing that I would say to the ladies. And know your blind spots, because again, if let's say you are in a permanent position but you're seeing this problem or challenge that your department is facing, be able, even though you are permanent, to try and solve for that after work, because that will also encourage you being innovative in that space. And when you are adding value in your working environment, then you are still appreciated, and they see that you are there with to add value, and not just only to grab from the organization. Don't go to work to collect your paycheck. Add value, make a difference, make a change. Even though you are permanently employed, it still allows that space.
Thank you very much, Auxilia. Lesego Matuma, Petunia, and Auxilia, thank you very much for joining us as Women in Tech SA on this fireside chat. It's been phenomenal. Thank you so much for coming in prepared and also answering to the questions that our audience have had. And for everyone who joined us tonight, thank you very much for your time and being here with us. You are welcome to actually join Women in Tech SA as the information is being shared right now on the screen. And also for further engagement with Lesego, with Auxilia and Petunia, they are actually tagged on the Women in Tech SA event poster. You will be able to reach them there. Ladies, thank you so much. May you enjoy the rest of your evening and the rest of the Women's Month.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the beautiful session.